What's going on YouTube? It's your boy KJOH 1984 again. Shout out to my Irish Army first, and shout out to the TCC. I actually just watched Big Four Valves and Magnum's video about two-teamers, and I just thought I might do one on my own. I agree with them on most things, alright? I'll tell you exactly who my teams are and why. I mean, I only have two teams, technically, but I have family ties on like 8 or 9 at least. Obviously Notre Dame. I bleed the blue and gold. You know, just check out my first video. My room is totally Notre Dame stuff. So that's my number one priority. My second team is honestly Duke, and this is why. My dad graduated from Duke, so you know, college basketball season comes around. There's not another single team, minus Notre Dame, obviously, that I root for more than the Duke Blue Devils in basketball. And football, obviously, Duke's football hasn't done shit since about 1997, the last bowl game that they went to. I believe against Northwestern in the Independence Bowl. But you know, they're having a mediocre year this year. Dustin Cutcliffe is a good coach. They'll bounce back. But Theo Lewis is a great quarterback. But so you know, I root for Duke also. So in football, college football, those are my two teams. All right, my grandparents and a couple of my aunts and uncles graduated from University of Texas. All right, they live in Plano, Dallas area, and they graduated from Texas. I can't stand them. All right, this weekend, yeah, I'll root for them against Oklahoma because I hate Oklahoma more, to tell you the truth. But you know, they don't like Notre Dame just because religion and between Texas and Notre Dame, all those times that Notre Dame whooped Texas's ass back in the 70s. But you know, I don't like them. You know, this weekend I'm going to root for them. But you know, that's about it. And obviously, you know, this is not even Division I football. But my older brother graduated from Georgia Southern. And, you know, I've been to a couple games in Statesboro, Georgia. And, you know, I root for Georgia Southern. All right, there's nothing wrong with it. I have t-shirts. I have the little plush eagle also, along with the devil and the leprechaun. So, you know, I represent all three of them. But, you know, that one honestly doesn't really count. I mean, it's still a football team, yes. But, you know, if Georgia Southern was going to play either Notre Dame or Duke, yeah, I root for Duke over Georgia Southern. Yeah, I obviously root for Notre Dame over Duke and Georgia Southern in football. The mess up thing is a couple years ago, Notre Dame played Duke in basketball, and I was torn between those two because I follow, of course, Notre Dame's basketball also. But Duke's basketball is where I'm at. You know, I was a big J.J. Redick fan. I was a big Sheldon Williams fan. I was a big Christian Laettner fan. I was a big, you know, Shane Battier fan. The list goes on and on about the players. I know more about Duke basketball than my dad, and he went there, for God's sakes. But anywho, and you know, that's me. I have friends that are ridiculous because I have a friend in basketball. He's a diehard North Carolina fan. All right, he watches them in football also. He likes North Carolina. He grew up in Maryland, Baltimore area, so of course he's a Terps fan, and he likes Florida State. So 3 teams in the ACC. I mean, I can't stand that. I mean, you know, if it's one from each conference, or you like a team from each conference, or for whatever reason, that's fine. I have another friend who obviously is in this area. He likes Georgia. His mom's or his grandparents graduated from Tennessee. He says he's a Texas fan, which he has no ties into Texas like I do. I'm not a Texas fan, but at least I have ties in him. And he's also a USC fan. He has no ties in USC. To be fair, I don't have any ties in Notre Dame. I think my mom's third cousin went to Notre Dame. That's the only ties that I have to him. When I was really young, about 5 years old, I watched them. Probably back in '88 when they won their last national championship. Hopefully next year will be, you know, the next one. If not this year, but I highly doubt it. But no, I just can't understand, you know, especially him. You know, he's a Georgia fan. Yeah, he lives in the state. That's cool. Tennessee, all right, you know, his family, you know, is from that area. He has relatives that went to school. That's fine. He picked USC. He's a New England Patriot fan in the NFL, but he has no ties in with them. He's a Falcons fan also, so, you know, that's his two teams. But he has no ties in with USC. He has no ties in with University of Texas. He roots for the best teams, alright? Doesn't matter, like I said, Notre Dame had a crummy ass year a couple years ago, and that was when I went to my first Notre Dame game in South Bend against Duke. It so happened to be Notre Dame versus Duke, I was rooting for Notre Dame. Of course, my dad was rooting for Duke at the time, so that's why we got a chance to go down. It was, I think, 28-7 was the final score of that game. But miserable weather, November, but enjoyed it. And it's a whole matter of fact that it's, you can have two teams, you just can't have four. You can't have this. You can't have three SEC teams and three ACC teams. All right, at least mine are spread around, for God's sakes. I mean, I have Duke here in the southeast, one up, northeast. This is, Central Plains, somewhere Midwest, kind of. No, sorry, no, Mideast, Mideastern. But that's my take. I don't know what, but I think Big Sean Power 10 probably obviously likes Notre Dame. He probably has another team that he roots for occasionally. He's a Bears fan, obviously. And, maybe I think he's a, Chicago fan in his own right. I think he's a Bulls fan too. But that's a different story. But anywho, I just wanted to do my 2 cents on this. Leave your comments, whatever you want to say. But like I said before, I wasn't going to make this video, but I thought I might just put it out there. But anywho, I'll be back, like I said in my previous video, either Friday to do my final projection for USC Notre Dame and projections for the rest of college football, or I'll be back very early Saturday morning to do mine. But until then, this is your boy KJOH 1984. Shout out to the TTC members, everybody, and shout out to my Irish Army. You know who you are. And remember, go Irish. Put it back.